All right, so we're diving back into NFTs, and looks like you've been following this surge in sales.
Yeah, some pretty big numbers coming out recently.
Definitely. And you even sent over some articles about, it looks like you've been doing your research.
Always trying to stay on top of things.
Me too, me too. Well, it looks like things are heating up,
Yeah, for sure. Especially in the last month.
especially with CryptoPunks.
Yeah.
I mean, a 50% jump in value in just a month.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive stuff.
It is. So let's get into it. First things first, those articles mentioned that November 2024 saw NFT sales skyrocket to $562 million.
Wow.
That's almost a 58% increase from October.
Yeah, that's a significant rebound from the quieter period we saw earlier this year.
Definitely a rebound. So the market's recovering, but we haven't quite returned to that frenzy from earlier this year.
Right. So, good sign, but we'll have to see how things develop.
Exactly. Okay. Now let's talk about the big players driving this surge.
Mm-hmm.
CryptoPunks and Pudgy Penguins, they were all over those articles.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the deal with them?
Well, CryptoPunks saw their floor price jump a massive 52% in November, going from 97,000 to 147,000.
Wow.
And their sales volume, a 392% increase, reaching 49 million.
That's incredible. What about Pudgy Penguins? They've made quite the comeback, haven't they?
Indeed, they saw a 262% increase in sales volume, hitting 16 million, and their floor price climbed 49% to reach 48,000.
So what's driving that resurgence?
Well, I think their community has a lot to do with it. Pudgy Penguins have done a really good job with their marketing, creating that sense of belonging that resonates with collectors.
It's interesting how community seems to play such a crucial role in the success of NFT projects.
Yeah, it's not just about the art itself, it's about the shared identity and sense of belonging. You're part of something.
Right. Like with CryptoPunks, their history and that limited supply makes them super desirable. It's like owning a piece of NFT history.
Exactly. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the blockchain landscape.
Okay, that's good.
Your articles mention that Ethereum and Bitcoin are both playing significant roles in this NFT recovery. Yeah, Ethereum continues to be the dominant platform in November. It recorded $216 million in NFT sales, a 12% increase.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, Ethereum's flexibility and widespread adoption in the NFT space make it a natural choice for a lot of projects.
But what really surprised me was Bitcoin's performance.
I know, right? It's pretty interesting. Bitcoin saw a near 100% increase in NFT sales, reaching 186 million in November.
Wow. So how did that happen?
Well, this is directly related to new developments that allow for the creation and trading of NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain.
So it's not just about Ethereum anymore. The blockchain world is becoming a lot more diverse.
Absolutely. And speaking of diversity, the articles also mention that other blockchains, Solana, Polygon, and Immutable, collectively accounted for over $160 million in sales.
Yeah, so it seems like that upswing isn't just limited to the big names we're seeing, a sector-wide phenomenon, right?
Exactly. A renewed interest in NFTs across various platforms.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fascinating development.
It is, and it definitely seems like things are heating up again in the NFT space. But the question is it sustainable? Is this a real comeback or just a temporary spike?
That is the million-dollar question, and it's something we need to explore further.
Okay, well, let's do it. So we've got this surge in NFT activity. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it is.
But is it going to last?
That's the big question, right?
Is this the start of a real comeback for NFTs or just like a temporary thing,
Yeah, I think there are the few things that could really influence whether this growth keeps going.
Okay, like what?
Well, first of all, the cryptocurrency market, how it's doing is super important
But that is.
because NFTs are tied to how well cryptocurrencies perform. So if the whole crypto market takes a hit, NFTs are probably going to feel it too.
That makes sense. So the fate of NFTs is connected to the fate of crypto in general.
Pretty much, yeah. But
Yeah.
there are other things too.
So what else?
Well, innovation in NFT applications, how they're being used is huge.
Right, like they're not just for digital art anymore.
Exactly. We're seeing NFTs being used in the metaverse for ticketing, for representing real-world stuff. It's pretty amazing.
Like every week there's a new use for NFTs popping up.
I know, right? It's a fast-moving space, and that's what makes it so exciting. The more we see these practical uses for NFTs, the more people are going to want to get involved.
So the key is for NFTs to actually do something, to have real value.
I think that's a big part of it, yeah.
Ah.
Now, another thing to consider is whether blockchain ecosystems can attract more users and investors.
So it's not just about the NFTs themselves, but the whole system behind them.
Exactly. If blockchains can be easier to use, more user-friendly, That'll bring in more people who are curious about NFTs.
That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
So we've got those three factors, the crypto market, NFT innovation, and making blockchains easier to use.
Yeah, those are some of the big ones.
So do you feel optimistic about the future of NFTs?
I'd say I'm cautiously optimistic. This recent activity is definitely a good sign. It shows that people are still excited about NFTs, but we gotta remember this market is still pretty young, and it can be unpredictable.
So we're still in the early stages.
Exactly. We're kind of watching a new technology being born right in front of us. It's pretty cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
So what about you? What are some of the most unexpected NFT uses you've seen?
Well, one thing that I find super interesting is NFTs in the metaverse.
What's that all about?
So you've got these virtual worlds, right? And people are buying and selling virtual land, clothing, even experiences, all using NFTs.
So you could buy a piece of virtual land and build a house on it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just for fun. These virtual assets can have real world value. Imagine owning a virtual store and renting it out to businesses who want to reach people in the metaverse.
Whoa, that's like digital real estate?
Pretty much, yeah. And then there's the whole digital art experience thing. Like, imagine going to a virtual concert where your NFT ticket gets you exclusive behind-the-scenes stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So NFTs can be more than just owning something. They can unlock experiences too.
For sure. And then there's the whole ticketing and authentication thing. Like, imagine if your concert tickets, your driver's license, even your diploma were all NFTs stored on your phone.
That would be so convenient and secure.
Yep. Right? NFTs could make things a lot smoother and safer in so many areas.
So NFTs are starting to have a real impact on the world.
Definitely. And that's what makes this space so exciting to watch. It's still early days, and we're just figuring out what NFTs can really do.
It's like we're at the beginning of something huge.
It really feels that way. So for our listener who's been following all this NFT stuff, what are the main things they should take away from all this?
Yeah, what are the key takeaways?
Well, first of all, the NFT market is showing some real signs of life. Sales are up, people are investing again, that's great to see.
And it seems like that growth is because of a few things.
Yeah, like we said, the cryptocurrency market plays a role, but the biggest thing is how NFTs are being used. Those real-world applications, that's what's going to determine if NFTs are here to stay.
So they need to solve real problems, offer real benefits.
Exactly. If they can do that, NFTs could become something everyone uses, not just tech enthusiasts.
I agree. Now, what about the risks?
Yeah, it's important to remember that the NFT market is still young, and it can be really volatile. Things can change fast.
So don't get caught up in the hype.
Right. Approach it with a bit of caution, but stay curious and keep learning. The NFT world is always changing. There's always something new to discover.
Yeah, it can be a wild ride for sure, but that's part of what makes it so exciting.
Exactly. It's like the early days of the internet, so much potential and everything's changing so fast.
I know, it's like we're just scratching the surface of what NFTs can do.
Totally. So for our listener who's now totally up to speed on all this NFT stuff,
Yeah, they've been following along.
what I'd say is the most important thing is to just keep that curiosity going, keep exploring.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to dive into specific projects that you find interesting.
Yeah, or join some online communities, talk to other people who are into NFTs.
Exactly. There's a whole world out there to discover.
And the NFT space is super welcoming. There are tons of resources to help you learn.
For sure. So much to learn and explore.
It's a journey.
It really is. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we have.
From those crazy sales figures to all those amazing innovations.
And the potential impact of, NFTs could really change things.
Definitely not just a passing fad.
It's been awesome unpacking all this with you and our listener.
It has been fun.
Thank you so much for sharing those articles with us. It's always a good conversation.
A huge thank you to our listener for joining us on this deep dive into the world of NFTs. We hope you found it informative and maybe even a little bit inspiring.
And remember, this space is constantly changing, so stay curious, keep learning, and who knows?
Maybe you'll be the one driving the next wave of NFT innovation.